Woo! Good morning, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, everywhere this is going to go live. I am Monty Anderson, your host, here at 412 Productions, and we got a lot to talk about. It's been a few days. I actually missed the first two um, live shows, which would have been the second and the fourth, because today is the 6th. And August is moving quite along fast. The first one, I don't know what happened on the first, on the second, what happened there. But then on the fourth, I just wasn't feeling well, so I decided not to go live then. And but here we are. We are finally live for the first time in August, which is awesome. All right, got a lot. Like I said, a lot to talk about. Lots of things coming down the pike. I am got a new shipment in, and that's what today's show is kind of about. Is about the What's in the Box 2.0. But welcome to the show, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, and we have Mr. Roy, Joe, Twinkle Toes, Sparkle Butt, Bradley, Twilight Lover Jr. in the house. He was representing one of my shirts the other day. In fact, he was representing this shirt, and we were representing this same shirt on the same day. So there you go. And good morning to you, too, Mr. Roy. And here's another shirt that you guys can get from my artwork right here of Art the Clown from Terrifier. Based off of my artwork. And we got a whole box of goodies to go through. So welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Hopefully you stick around. Check out some cool stuff that's going to be happening and be showing when I get into this box over here. And thanks for that, Mr. Roy, about the sweet looking shirt. Yep, this is Mr. Art the Clown from Terrifier, based off of my artwork for my horror series that I had going on. And I still got more to add to it. I got to add Ghostface. I got to add a pumpkin head. There's quite a few more that I need to add. So, but we will get into all that later. All right. So, for those of you that know, we've got shirts going on. You got to have Art the Clown in your life, no matter what capacity. Either the t-shirt form or this cool little stand. Bum, bum, bum. Right there. That goes good. That says the art of art on it right here. And, you know, that's a new little piece that's going to be at conventions soon whenever I do get back into the convention scene. And so, you know, yes, I forget. It's bass backwards because of the damn mirror mode. There you go. Camera is now switched and we are at the right angle. So thank you, Mr. Roy, for the reminder. I wish it wasn't even on. I wish I could figure out how to permanently turn it off instead of it doing it on its own. I'm not that smart yet. But welcome to the show, everybody. And we have got a lot of stuff to unpack. First off, I'll show you the number one bestseller so far. This shirt right here. This is our number one best-selling shirt of all time so far. We've had this one go out the door more than any other shirt that I've produced so far. This is my number two Joker, actually. Right there. And then another one that is gaining popularity is this one right here. The Bad Habit series. Right here, the Naughty Nun series. This one is gaining some popularity. Right there. I ordered that shirt, right? Maybe I ordered it later. I got to go check my orders here in a little while because somebody ordered that shirt for a friend of theirs, and they already paid me for it. And I got to make sure I bought it. I'm pretty sure I went and ordered it today. All right, so I've got the box open here. I had to make sure that everything came in the order for it. So we're gonna kick it off. The girlfriend gets a Art the Clown T-shirt right here on red instead of on the black like I've got. So hers is on the red. It's still very cool. Got the blood splatter going out over here by his head. So there's Art the Clown right there. And then we got the Joker number 2. We're going to go ahead and take this one out of the baggy bag. If I can, if I'm smarter than a fifth grader, they've started sealing their bags. Okay, that's cool. I got skizzers over here. Don't run with scissors. Don't run with scissors. Make sure you like, share, and follow if you haven't done so already. That helps us out here on a regular basis. All right, so this is actually the very first Joker that I painted right here. And this painting sold immediately. But this was the very first Joker that I painted, even though it is not, you know, been made public as much as the other one. But there you go. You got to look at this one. This one's cool. I like it too. I'm going to be ordering myself one of these as well. And then she is wearing right now her Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She got the forest green one, so it's a dark green, and I've got a black one. So again, she's already wearing her shirt of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the last Ronin that I did up. Again, this original artwork sold, but here it is on the shirt right there. So you get to check it out instead of just on paper form. It is very cool. I likes it right there. Bum, bum, bum. So I likes it. I dig it. All right. And then, not going to open those two, but these are for an order that came in. A Chester Bennington and a Crow on yellow instead of the typical black or another color like that. So you got those right there. Those are going out with this original piece right here of the Black Cat from J. Scott Campbell. Whenever he did a contest, it wasn't technically a contest. It was just a redraw his famous cover in our style. And this is what I came up with for him, and he loved it. He actually commented on that piece. So I've got those two shirts for her and that original piece of artwork right there. So, without further ado, we'll go with Mr. Chester, since he is right here, since he was the next one in the list, right there. So this is what you would get if you ordered the Chester shirt right there. And remember, I'm doing an Ozzy piece as well. So I'm going to have Ozzy Osbourne shirts later on. I don't know when I'm going to get that finished, but I haven't even started drawing it up yet. But it's going to be a companion to this Chester Bennington piece right here. So there you go. We did give her mother a Ivan Moody shirt yesterday. That came in this order as well. And you've all seen the Black Crow shirt because I've worn it on here live a few times. I've worn it out in public and gotten many compliments on it, but here is what it would look like in yellow. Very cool looking. It highlights it really well right there. Because it did have yellow around him anyway on the edges and things like that with how I had it drawn up with yellow back in the background. So that turned out really well on that end as well. And then the last one in the box. What's in the box? On a maroon, almost a burgundy shirt is American Horror, which sold to Mr. Taticus Johnson out there, a tattoo artist for his wife. And this is what the shirt would look like. You can get it in any color that you would want. You can even get it on a yellow, which would go good with that sunset in the background. But you've got Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein right there, American Horror down at the bottom. My take on the classic 1930s painting American Gothic right there. So, that gives you a small idea of what we've got going on. Now, we've already shown you this shirt right here. We've already shown you this shirt in person, Joker number one, but that was the second one on the list here. We showed you this one in person, right here, on the actual shirts. We showed you this one in person on the actual shirt. The one we didn't show you was this one, which her mother is actually wearing to work today. So there's that. If you like Ivan Moody or Five Finger Death Punch, like she does. And then you just saw this one, the American Horror, based off the American Gothic painting. Mr. Howard the Duck is actually coming in. I took it off of the black shirt and I put it on a white shirt just to pop it a little bit more. So it's going to be cool. That one's coming in. The girlfriend was actually wearing this shirt yesterday. Right there. She actually wore it out and about yesterday. And as you see, I'm wearing the Art the Clown right here, which is what this one depicts. Boom, boom, boom. And then, of course, we've got many different variations of the Crow. You've got the yellow shirt, you've got the black shirt. And then you've seen this one live a few times, the Wonder Woman shirt right there. And because that one's becoming a popular order one too. I've had 4 of those go out so far. And then, of course, the Bad Habits, which you just saw on the red shirt back over here. So there you go on that endeavor. So that's a lot of stuff that we've got unpacked right now. I'm looking at unpacking 4 to 5 more shirts to include in all of this. And again, all of the shirts that you see will have a canvas print and an 11 by 17 print. The canvas prints will be 16 by 20, so they are substantial in size. And they're at a fraction of the cost of the original itself. So you can get those for yourself or for somebody that really loves these characters. Um, I'm going to be very selective whenever I get back into the convention realm, if you will, on what I have on my backdrop for prints and things of that nature. Because I made the mistake of making a print for every single piece of artwork that I made. And probably, I would say about 30% of it never sold. People loved it. People enjoyed looking at it, but it never sold, even in print form. So it's just like, okay, so why do we make all these prints and then they never sell, especially at a convention and things of that nature, where you're making your money? And it's just like, okay, so we've got about 50, maybe 60 prints back here that people can choose from. And that's just a lot of prints to be carrying around or taking to convention after convention after convention, hoping one of them is going to sell in the span of a day or 2 days or 3 days, depending on the convention you're at. Most conventions I hit are 2 days. Now there are the occasional 3-day shows that are the best to be at, because everybody kind of looks around the first day, and then the very next day they come back and start doing their purchases. But I mean, the first day they're purchasing stuff as well, but then they've gotten a look at the lay of the land, and so then they come back and they start making their purchases, and then the very last day, that's when the sales and stuff start happening from vendors, and so they start really buying then. So, but we always have a good special going on a regular basis, no matter what. So, when it comes to the print work as well, you buy 3, you get 1 free, basically. So, um, but again, 11 by 17 prints, 16 by 20 canvas prints on most everything, and we're going to be restocking. You know, we've got to restock. We've got to get everything up and going and up and running in a good form and fashion so that it's readily available. Now, the only thing, and thanks for I changed that. I didn't have chili out there. Dang it. But just thanks. Thanks for that chili. It was supposed to be the bat, damn it. The Halloween bat was there. I chose it, and for Ozzy Osbourne too. But uh, we want to have everything readily available. Now, the only thing that's not going to be readily available at the shows is the T-shirts. The T-shirts are going to have an order form. You're going to have to order them. I'm going to have to order them because I'm not going to carry a ton of stock on T-shirts when it comes down to it, because that just makes a whole big mess, if you will, uh, because you've got to order, every size available from small to 5X. You've got to, and that's in every shirt. Now, it's not like it would be that impossible to do, but, well, what if I have, three of each shirt from small to extra to 5X, and I sell one of those shirts? Well, I just wasted a whole lot of money printing those shirts out, and um, now I'm sitting on them because are they going to sell at the next show? Are they going to sell in between shows? Those type things. So it's just best to do an order form for the T-shirts and get them shipped to you than it is to have all that stock of T-shirts. Now, when it comes to the prints, as far as the 11 by 17s and the 16 by 20 canvases, those will be readily available, and I'll have multiples of those. You know, like pretty much everything will be limited per show. Like on the canvas prints, there'll probably be like three of each of those, tops. On the 11 by 17 prints, there could be 15 of each one, per show. But that's still a lot of prints to choose from. And it's not going to be the 50 or 60 like I used to do. I'm going to be paring it down quite a bit. Um, Probably down into the 20 range of artworks. And that's going to include new artwork as well. It's not going to just include just the stuff, that has already been made over the past, X amount of years from 2019 to now. But a lot of that stuff is still big sellers, as you see on the shirts. Um, Now, some of this is newer stuff, like the Bad Habits and the Chester Bennington and the Joker and those type things. All those are newer pieces. But I still get some fan favorites when it comes to like Gambit and Bishop, um, the Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor from the X-Men and things of that nature. So when it boils down to it, I'm going to be putting out a big poll out there to see what are your favorite pieces of art, that you like the most out of all these. And that's going to help me narrow my focus on what I need to be selling, out there to the masses. And I know anime is a big seller, and I've got some of that. I got a Monkey D piece. I've got a Mitsuri piece. I've got a Inosuke piece, out there. I've got a Dragon Ball and a Vegeta piece out there as well. Um, I've got a Gengar piece, that I did for my nephew. So, and then I'm going to have original stuff in there as well. I'm hoping to get, one of my covers done up so that I can get it in a form to do a 11 by 17 and a 16 by 20 canvas on it as well. Um, just to represent my own work for my comic book that I'm working on, my own creations, my own characters. And that's what I'm going to be focusing more on later on, is the building of my characters even more than I already have. And that is going to be the selling point over all of the other stuff, over the Marvel characters, the DC characters, and things like that. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is getting all that up and running and going, and having fun with art again. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our daily lives that takes the joy out of things for us, and that's no fun, 100%. And it it can weigh us down to the point of, well, I'm just not interested in doing, the stuff that usually makes me the happy-go-lucky guy that I am, you know. And so it's like, Well, how do you get all that back? How do you get that joy back in things? How do you get that luster back in life again? Well, it's kind of like a restart, a reset. You know, the factory reset that I talked about the other day on one of my lives last month, and where I couldn't get up for anything, and I had to, you know, the next show that I did was called Factory Reset because the show prior to that I didn't make because I was sleeping for the first time in a while. I was sleeping, you know, and it's like, well, sometimes you do need that reset. You need that reset to make things different for you. And if you can get that reset in there, make it happen. And those are the things that you've got to do for yourself sometimes. Is hit that reset button and go on. Thanks for the likes. And please don't forget to like, share, and follow if you haven't done so already. But I will have some orders going out, and I've got to make sure that that order got made and is actually, I'm going to do that right now while I'm sitting here. I've got to see. So I got to make sure that that order did go out. Yep, there it is. Okay. So why didn't I get that one? Or did they put it in the same box? I'm gonna have to double check that. I'm gonna have to double check that. Definitely got to double check that. All right, so but oh, here I just got to make sure. Sorry, folks. There's a lot of things you got to check on and double check on whenever you do things because you always think that everything is good, and it's like, well, I hope it's good. And bum, bum, bum. Let's see, gotta make sure. Okay, there we go. Okay, so hopefully that is the correct spot. Sorry about that. Just had to make sure those orders are going out. So again, whenever you get to a comic book convention with me, oh well, thank you for the fan club. Join the fan club out there. Thanks for the heart me there, Roy. So whenever it comes to the shows, an order form will be made right there. You were hated as a freshman, huh? As in high school or college? Um, because most people don't even care after a certain point in time. Now there are unfortunately some people that get you know picked on their entire lives, and that's a sad state. High school, so I don't think they give a rat's ass or give a fuck, as you said, right there. So you know it is all right, Mr. Roy. There you go, Mr. Roy Joe. Congrats for reaching level 5 on the fan club. You should be fine on your sophomore year. I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, most people, especially after a summer break, kind of forget about things and then they live life. I don't know the whole the whole backstory of why they were picking on you in the first place, and you know that's a thing on them. That's you got to live your life in such a way that you're basically become untouchable, if you will. And move that over here. And at that point in time, you just can't let people walk all over you. You don't want to become angry and bitter as you move through high school. You know, because I've seen that happen one too many times. In fact, we had a guy that got picked on unfortunately a regular basis, and after high school he gets married, and later on, I don't know how many years it was, he ends up um, taking out his wife with a pew pew, and now he's in prison. You know, and we all chalk it up for the abuse that he got in school. You and which isn't cool. You know, um, hate and hazing and bullying shouldn't be tolerated. Period. But yet it still gets tolerated because, oh well, it's the jocks. We can't punish them because they're playing for our school and our reputation. But here they are being dickheads and jerks and things of that nature to other people in the school because they're not as cool as the jocks. I mean, you got your little cliques in school, and that's something that's been around for forever. Since the caveman days. You know, with that you got this group hangs with this group hangs with this group, this hang groups with this group, and they never intermingle, they never cross paths. Other than to like we've already talked about the hazing and things of that nature. And so you know you just got to live your life, and like I said, in a way that you just become untouchable, not a jerk or a dick, but just untouchable. Things don't phase you the way they used to or did in your freshman year. You know, because now you've got the freshman crew in there below you now as in school. So so you got to look at it that way too. So you don't want to become that dick that was, you know, as they picked on you and did all the stuff to you that they did in your freshman year. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to carry on that cycle. It's time to break that cycle, break those chains. So there you go. And thanks for the roses. I appreciate it. That helps out the broadcast and goes right back into the art business for getting these cool shirts and things of that nature, like the one I'm wearing, based off of my artwork for Art the Clown. You too can order one of those if you really want to. You can hit me up in the DMs and all that good stuff. And I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about anybody that watches this show on all the broadcast channels that it's going on: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and here on TikTok. There you go. So we did the unpackaging of the box, and we had a lot of T-shirts in there. So, um, lots of cool stuff happening, and lots of cool stuff coming down the pike. Now, I haven't had a chance to work on a whole lot of new artwork because I've been focusing a lot on a kid's book cover that I was working on for a friend of mine who's telling his story through a kid's book, through a series, a three-part series. And Ori's First Fight is the title of the book. Um, and so I'm looking forward to that coming out. He is looking for a publisher right at this moment to get it published with. Now, I've been working hard and heavy on this little piece. It's an amalgam of a Drecki and a Wolver, and then my version in the background, back over his shoulder, back over here. A big hulking beast is how I envisioned it right there. But that is on that. And then I've got two more pieces to work on for him, and I have a puppy piece that I'm going to be working on as well. And then I've got the Ozzy Osbourne piece that I'm going to be working on, and then I've also got my cover to one of my comic books that I'm working on as well for my own works, which I haven't given the title. I haven't given a whole lot of synopsis for it, but my comic book, just think cryptids, which includes Bigfoots, aliens, chupacabras, the mythological creatures that people say don't exist, but there's been way too many sightings for it not to be real. And then it's got witches and warlocks and your folklore and fairy tale type creatures in there, like pixies and like think Tinkerbell, but not as cute as Tinkerbell. I mean, they're going to be cute and hot, but they're also going to be pretty deadly as well. Um, but all kinds of aspects. There is a theme to the story, and that's why we talked about the little things on one of my other shows last month, talking about the little things like these little books right here. You we'll just start with the witchcraft book, the practical book of witchcraft, because this is going to help me with some symbols and things of that nature in there in the book without going into like spells and things of that nature. And then I've got the freaky folklore, which gives you um, the world's most frightening monsters, cryptids, and beasts. Darkness prevails with Carmen Carrion. But it gives you a comprehensive look from America to Europe to Africa to Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. So in there, you get all these different folklores from around the world, not just here in America. So you got the skinwalkers in America, you got the banshee in Europe, you've got um, ads in Africa, you got bunyip in Australia and New Zealand, and then you've got the Krasu in Asia, or the Yeti over there as well, just like Bigfoot in the Americas, you know. But you got Wendigos, Goatman, you got all kinds of cool stuff in here. So instead of me having to pull everything up on the internet where everything is located, I can go to this book and pull up, the Dogman or, the Chupacabra or, whatever, and take their description of what people have seen or described it as and create my own vision of it, those type things. And so both of these books were just little finds, that you get in different places, and they come in super handy. It's just like all of the history books and things like that I have in the library right now. That just come in super handy whenever you're trying to draw a weapon or a tank or those type things, in different aspects. Because my book is a timepiece period set in today's time, but you get a lot of flashbacks, you know, because there's a lot of history with this main character. That his name is Robert. So, based off of my dad and my son, who have both passed on, unfortunately, and so um, their namesake will live on in this comic book, and so that's the cool stuff that you get to do. You get to take names from different aspects and be like, hey, why would I want to stand up? You want to see the whole shirt, or do you want to see my Marvel sleep pants? And I'd be out of frame. I'm 6'2", and I'm not gonna hold that all up. But thanks, Chance. Um, so the whole aspect of this comic book is a lifespan out there. When it comes to a complete different outlook on the book, you're going to break the fourth dimension in this book. You're going to. It's a 4-issue miniseries, and it is each book is going to have 4 covers to it. So there's going to be the main cover, which will be mine, and then there will be 3 variants per book. which is going to be 3 different artists per book, other than mine. Mine will be the only constant throughout the series. Um, and then there's going to be a graphic novel that's going to encompass all of the covers, any pinups that anybody wants to do as far as these other artists want to do on that aspect. And then from there, um, it will be just like, and I never did push the live button, did I? I did not push the live button over here, but it didn't give me the go live button anyway. Why did you not give me that? Anyway, that's on Facebook. It's no big deal. It will get on there anyway. Normally, I'm live on Facebook too. So, so my book is going to encompass a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects. Um, but it's stuff that I hope is new and interesting to you, the readers, that get it in your hands. I know that it's hard to come up with original ideas that haven't been seen out there in the light of day somewhere else, you know. And so I tried to come up with a completely different story than some of the stuff that I've seen out there when it came to my theme, when it boiled down to it. And once this one's done, I'm going to move into the realm of the superhero aspect of things. I've got characters that I created back in the 90s, which is before some of you were even born, except for you, Roy. Um, Back in the 90s, when I was, making my own little anthology series um, back in the day, and I had these lofty goals, excuse me, to create these characters and create a world, a vast world. And they just never came to light. Eskimo Boy was my closest one to come to light. It was rudimentary. It was pretty childish, if you will, but that was what it was for. It was made for kids, you know. And so, I could reinvent him again if I really wanted to, but I probably won't. Uh, and then the mix, I'm probably going to change his name up for the comic, but we'll see. Um, I just got to get through this first one, which is again a 4-issue miniseries. I'm 18 pages in on book 1 on the writing process, and it's one of those things that it's like, well, you've got to keep writing, and I hate writing. I'm not a writer, so you know that's the hard part for me is getting all of my thoughts that I've got in the envision out there on the paper, the typety type on the computer for Microsoft Word, which I know Microsoft Word probably isn't where I should be writing in anyway. So, but it's just one of those aspects that you got to get into that mindset of just doing it, because if you don't, it's going to sit here like it has for the past month and not been touched, you know. And why would I say that, Jojo? Who is this Max person? And why are they grooming themselves in your presence? I know that's what. No, I know that's not what you told me to say or asked me to say, but oh, your best friend. Are they there with you? But why is Max gooning anyway? There you go, Max. They know you are gooning out there, and I'll figure that out later. So there you go. But no, we are looking forward to some big things happening, and San Diego, California is in the house. There you go. And JoJo, I already said it. They're at Palm Springs. Well, that's cool. So, we're looking for big things, especially with the comic book convention. Now, I don't know how many I want to be hitting in 2026 because a lot of them are already filled up that I want to get into. And so, that is one of the aspects that you got to look at. So, you might not be able to get into the ones that you really want to. Plus, I could have a sponsor by then as well. Um, in a little bit different aspect, you know. And I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. Uh, he and I still need to talk and get some more because I'm hoping he's been filling in the blanks for me since our last conversation. I haven't seen anything come through email for him yet, but a sponsorship is a great thing because they take care of the booth, they take care of any prints that you've got as far as um, your banners and things of that nature. Um, but everything else is on you. All of your prints are on you. All of your comics are on you. Those type of things. They are just there to be the facilitator of your book. You keep all rights, and there you go. Will Aaron Rodgers find the stairway to 7 in the Steelers? No, he won't. He's going to have a great season of pickoffs like he did in his first pass as a Steeler. Uh, but or he's going to go down with an injury, and it's time for him to retire. It's time for him to go. Just like Russell Wilson, time for Russell to go retire. There's a lot that need to retire out there. And who's my team? Well, it's the Dallas Cowboys, of course. The only team out there, the only team to root for. You know. And I know a lot of people have a problem with the Cowboys, but they can't get their name out of their mouth. So there you go. They've been my team since I was 5 years old. So I do. I really need one because they would probably sell like hotcakes out there. Um, Mr. Nice Guy, thanks. Good to see you, man. As always. Yeah, he's not going to do that. They're going to pay him, and it's all going to be good. So no worries there. This is just media hype and drama, so don't even worry about it. He's not going over to the squealers. I'm sorry. A lot of people would love that, but it's not going to happen. So he will get paid. He just needs a better agent, is what he needs. So because this agent has screwed over a lot of other players in the past. If you didn't know anything about this agent, he has screwed over some big time players in the past with the teams that they were supposed to be playing for the rest of their lives, and he jacked up their contracts. So we're not worried about it. He's going to be a Cowboy for life. So there you go. He'll be making more than your Watts player there, who is about to retire anyway. So there you go. I hope you do good in shirt sales. Sounds good. I hope to see your shirts on TikTok Shop soon. Yeah, I'm hoping one of these days. Um, the We just went through a whole list of the shirts that we just got in as well, which is pretty much everything that I keep holding up, right here in this form. But we've got it in all these shirt forms, like the one I'm wearing now, my Art the Clown piece right here. And then, like I said, we just went through the American Horror, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in actual physical form, a new Crow in yellow instead of the black. Um, of course, you saw those Jokers. The other Joker shirt, which is this Joker, the facing down look instead of the other look. So we've got all those shirts in house right now, and that's one of those things that hopefully we can get a TikTok shop opened up for these shirts as well. That way they can fly out the door, fly out the handle, and get it going really well. Um, because so far the Joker has been my hot seller so far. This Joker right here. This one's been my hot seller. Second place, I would have to say, would go to Wonder Woman, and then Chester Bennington are those right there. And Mr. Roy was sporting his um, Joker shirt just the other day. So, you know, and that he purchased. And now he's getting another shirt for his sister. So, hopefully she doesn't hear that. um, but the lots of shirts are getting ordered. I mean, the Bad Habits, the Naughty Nun series is getting some love and picking up in pace as well, which is this one, which I showed you first right there. This one right here, that's getting a lot of love right now. Because I mean, it is boobages and it's a female, so there you go. I don't have any hats just yet. You're the second person that's asked me about some hats. I got another friend that is looking at some snapback hats. You know, if it had my logo on it or something like that, he would pick up that. Um, but the hats are very tricky when it comes to artwork on them because um, you only have so much area to work with, and I don't want to put like Terrifier on the hat when it's going to be this big, you know. So that might just be reserved to logo only. Uh, I'm also looking at some other shirts as well that will have, encompass like the logo all over the shirt, and be in a button-up style shirt like the old club shirts back in the day, like that Wolverine shirt, the X-Men shirt that I wear on a regular basis, the bright red one with Wolverine front and center, jumping out at you, Jim Lee artwork. Um, I'm looking at some of those style shirts as well. But hats, I am thinking about. I just gotta figure out what I really want to do there. I would have some designs, in artwork that would fit the hat because it goes, this way instead of this way. Horizontal versus vertical and all that stuff. Um, your vertical versus horizontal, and so not everything would work well as a hat, unfortunately. And so those are some of the things that I got to look at when it comes to putting artwork on hats. Even my logo, even though it's a round per se logo, it's still going to be super small up here, on a hat. So um, it's just a lot of stuff that you got to look at when you're doing these type of situations when it comes to printing or embroidery and things of that nature. Because I would like to see it embroidered, the logo, the 412 Productions logo as well, um, just to get it checked out to see what it would look like as an embroidery as well. I just haven't taken that step yet. The printing of shirts goes a lot faster and it's cheaper, if you will, than getting some embroidery stuff worked on. So, and you're gonna have that liquid cash, out there, and things help. The sale of the shirts help. The chilies and things and that come through help because all that goes right back into the printing process of the business. Goes back into any supplies I need and things of that nature. So that's where all of that money goes to, and it's very fun, very lucrative sometimes. Sometimes it's not so fun. Sometimes it's not so lucrative. But this is what I've chosen to do as my profession for forever. Until they lower me in that casket, I might still be drawing out there as I'm being lowered into the casket. Who knows? Might even be late for my own funeral. I don't know. But, give me that 21 gun salute for military service and we're good. That flag draped over the coffin, all that goody good stuff. Yeah, and that's how we go out. Um, but no, that year is like 50 years down the road, I guess. You know, and oh, the one thing I didn't talk about, I might have Lyme disease from a tick bite. A bunch of body aches and all that good stuff after the tick bite. You know, and if the VA is an indicator, it might take me a while to get in to be seen. And I could be, um, going to that early on, you know, flag covering. No, I'm kidding. I feel all right. I mean, I still have a little bit of body aches right now, and I get I get little hot flashes, from it, because like right now I'm sweating in a air conditioned room, at this point in time. So yeah, but yours is a little bit different. Yours isn't from a tick bite, Mr. Roy. I know you're feeling some aches now, like me, but yours is a little bit different, you know, and hopefully they helped you up whenever you did that little kick spin maneuver on your scooter, you know. So since they were there already, so whoever's reading this, big blessings. Just keep your head up. Love y'all. Well, thanks, Austin. A lot of people probably need to hear that on a regular basis, especially with all the negativity and hate that comes through uh, most platforms. Like, I'm glad the idiot has been banned, hopefully permanently. And hey, looky there, Ozzy Osbourne is following us. May he rest in peace. I am getting ready to do an Ozzy piece as well. Just haven't started it up yet, since I've got a few other pieces ahead of it. And that one is a funsy piece, and it's going to go with my Chester Bennington piece, which I did show the T-shirt over there on that. So looking forward to that coming in or being done, so I can make T-shirts out of it too. So there you go. But yeah, no, lots of cool stuff is getting ready to happen. I hope and pray on a regular basis, just because you know these are the lofty goals that you set for yourself. These are the things that being independent is about. It's about not needing to go to a 9 to 5 job. It's not needing to go to punch a time clock on a regular basis. Um, and that's the hope and dream of all of us, you know, and that's people around the world, not just here in the United States. But that's the hope and dreams of a lot of people around the world. Now, there are those people that love working for other corporations and love making other people money. It's just like, why are you renting a apartment and spending all that money on rent when you could get yourself a mortgage on a house? You know. Yep, we're at 5.6 thousand likes. Thank you, Mr. Roy, and everybody else that has liked the program so far. It's just like, why are you throwing away rent when you could be paying mortgage on a house? You know, other than the only thing I can think of on that aspect is, you got bad credit, which happens, or you move around a lot, and you don't want to be tied down to one place. It's just like me. I've thought about selling everything that I've got right here, right now, and moving off to Alaska, disappearing into the woods of Alaska. Because why? There's a Comic Con in Alaska, you know, hit that once a year and be good. Have some new artwork going on and things like that. The rest of the time working on the homestead and chopping down trees for wood, all those good aspects of things. Um, but then you think, well, you're already 53 years old, fixing to be 54, and you know, do you really want to start that endeavor up at 54 years old? Just sounds like you're having a hard enough time with the homestead you got now. You know, because then you'd have to change your aspect on the stuff that you're raising, you know, in Alaska. Now I know people do chickens and things of that nature in Alaska as well, but they get those hardy stuff that can survive negative 20, 30, 40 degrees, you know. And you have to build a complete bear proof structure. And so at that point in time, it's just like, well, do you really want to do a homestead like that? Or do you just want to do a homestead of, you know, where you're lumbering and all that good stuff? My Elmo? Okay. Ah. Oh, we got comedians out there. Or they try to be. Never heard that one before. Wow. All right. Oh, we got comedians coming on now. And I use that word loosely. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to, you know, getting back into the scene. But again, it is going to be probably very limited on what happens in 2026 when it comes down to Pike. Um, you know, and what's up, man? We're doing a live show. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And you know, it boils down to some shows are already filled up in the comic convention so far. So you've got to look at other ones that you might not want to have been in, but you know could still benefit what you're doing. You know, and so about my artwork. That's what this show is about. You're on 412 Productions, the Art of Monty Anderson page, the art, you know, artwork and things that I do. But thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. And so the whole aspect of getting everything ready. That means all the prints, 11 by 17 prints, and then all of the canvas prints to go with that as a companion piece because they're going to be 16 by 20 canvases, they're going to be 11 by 17 prints, and then you're going to have the t-shirts. There's possibly going to be some magnets and stickers in there as well because people like those for their refrigerators, their computers, you know, all kinds of stuff, and their cars. Yeah, Art the Clown right here, based off of my artwork, based off of Terrifier character. Yes, he is cool. He is a fan favorite, just like this little piece right here on a real saw blade. So if you don't have a weapon in the house, you would if you bought this right there. The art of art, painted in blood, right there. But yes, this is on a real saw blade, right there. Actual saw blade with my artwork on it for Art the Clown. I have one for Billy the Puppet too. I have him in a clock form and the stand that you can do with whatever you want because I want to play a game. Lately, you all have been asking what my channel's about. But there you go. You can put your keys on here. You can put your thumb drives on here. You can put pencils, paper, whatever you want on there. Your mail. But those are art pieces that can also be used as weapons if you don't have one. Because you can throw this at somebody if they broke into your house. Oh, thank you, TikTok, for showing me this stupid little puzzle piece. I would not have been able to get through my day without it. So there you go. We went through the whole repertoire of shirts and things like that. So if you want to, you can go back and watch the broadcast from its entirety, where we showed you the actual T-shirts, like these here in the background, and the one I'm wearing right there. Dun, dun, dun. Right there. So you can get those if you want. You can get you a T-shirt of any kind of. There you go. Yes, throwing saw star. Way cool. Yes, yes, you could throw it if you really needed to. Hopefully your aim is true with it. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to flow, because opportunity knocks. We're not going to have spaghetti on your sweater. But there you go. All right, guys. But seriously, if you do want to get a t-shirt, check out the ones I've got. I've got quite a few. I'm about to add 5 or 6 more to the list, the ever-growing list of t-shirts. And if I have a t-shirt in it, it's going to have an 11 by 17 print and a 16 by 20 canvas print as well. But that is it for me today, guys. I got some artwork I got to get kicking on. But I appreciate each and everybody stopping in, checking out the channel, and being here with us on a regular basis. We go live every other day. So make sure you like, share, and follow if you haven't done so already. And you can go up here. Let me get to the right side here, right there, boom. And you can go follow my other socials on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you are here already on TikTok. But that is it for us here today. And as we say, as we leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.